I pop the K. Are rolling. Episode 72 of the kPodcast. Welcome back. We got my motherfucking man in the building tonight. Johnny boy. How you doing, man?
Can't complain. Just happy to be here.
Made it back from the mountains. I invited my friend here tonight to talk about his recent excursion on the Appalachian Trail. But before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and fire off these ones and twos. You know, get you loose a little bit.
I like it.
So first things first. Well, you know how this works, right? I'll just name two things. Just pick one.
Yeah.
There's no repercussions if you pick one or the other. There's no wrong answer here.
I feel
So hot or cold?
hot.
Left or right?
Right.
Day or night?
Day.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Tacos or burger? What? I know you're not a vegetarian, but I've been meaning to start with that question first. Are you vegetarian?
No.
Tacos or burgers?
Tacos. 100%.
Okay, fruit or veggies?
Fruit.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like the beach implies being close, just being on the coast, I feel like.
More of a beach boy?
Yeah.
Beach boys
Even
in
though
the
I
building.
love the mountains too. Yeah, I love both.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. Booze or buds?
Gonna have to go with buds.
Hey, indica or sativa, or you don't really care?
I think generally sativa.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like to be alert?
Exactly. I like letting the thoughts run wild.
Hip-hop or classic rock?
Yeah, I heard you ask your boy this question. I was thinking about it. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's tough.
It's a tough one, right?
I'm going to have to go classic rock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any particular reason, or?
Nah, I mean, I guess that's just what I grew up with. I mean, I love both, but I'm going to have to go classic rock, yeah.
And Beatles or Stones?
Oh, my God. You have to go Stones.
Stones?
Yeah.
Stony baloney.
Man, these got some tough ones in here.
Hey, man.
I like it.
Foreign car or fancy boat?
Fancy boat.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely fancy boat.
TV or movies?
Gonna have to go TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking of series like Breaking Bad, like The Simpsons.
Life-changing.
Yeah, very life-changing.
For water, sparkling or still?
Still.
Yeah. Or regular
I don't need
water.
all those bubbles.
Yeah. I do not understand sparkling water, but all right. So we're going with still water. Book, old school book or audio book?
Book. Old school book. Paper book.
Paper. You smell the pages and the ink. All right. I don't think you skate, but you rode like longboards and shit, right?
Nah, I've actually never ridden the
Okay.
longboard. My buddy just got an electric longboard.
Oh, wow.
Ate shit on it the other day. So
Hey,
I still
there you
haven't
go.
tried it out. Yeah.
Well, then I'll skip these next questions. Fly or teleport?
Oh man, I was thinking about when you asked your buddy this question. Yeah, I was
It's a tough one.
I think I go like teleport. Yeah,
Teleport?
I'm thinking like jumper style teleport, like where you just like pop wherever you want.
Yeah. Either
Okay, yeah.
pop there instantaneously or, you know what I mean, hop on
I like teleport then.
little
in
sky
that case.
cruise. Pants or shorts?
Yeah. Short.
True Florida boy. All right. Shakira or J-Lo?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go J-Lo on this one.
Hey, Boricua. What about NFL Blitz or NBA Jam?
Yeah. NBA jams. We play a
Yeah.
lot at that. At the
Catch
college
fire in
house.
this bitch?
Yeah.
Barney or Big Bird?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go Big Bird.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's big yellow ass. I love it.
Big yellow ass. Fuck out it. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Word.
Yeah.
All right. Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers?
Ninja Turtles.
Fuck yeah.
100%.
Hey, Rue. Chocolate or vanilla?
Just like flavor wise.
Yeah, just overall.
Let's go chocolate.
Chocolate guy. Podcast or radio?
Podcasts. 1000%.
Fuck.
Damn right.
Damn right. Salsa or guacamole?
Ooh, salsa.
Salsa.
Yeah, I have to go with the salsa.
Okay. This one I think could go either way. MJ or LeBron?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say MJ.
Hey.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I feel like being like a contemporary with LeBron is a little different. Like growing up, you always hear about MJ, so it's kind of
I'm definitely
LeBron
more,
in a different light.
Yeah. I'm more of an MJ guy myself. Smoothie or milkshake?
Milkshake. That's easy.
You like peanut butter?
Yeah.
Creamy or crunchy?
You have to go creamy. Although I do like crunchy. It's growing on me. Yeah.
Both. You can say both if you want. There's no rules against that.
Yeah, creamy.
All right, we're going creamy. And last but not least, flats or the legs or the drums, whatever you call them.
Oh, like
for the
sandals?
wings.
Oh, okay. What do I like my ladies in? Flats.
Chicken wings. Flats.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, yeah. Heels or flats, John? No, yeah. Little chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was the last one. Great job. You passed. You passed the ones and twos, man. But yeah, so like I said briefly in the beginning, you've had an interesting experience this past year, something that definitely not a lot of people that I know can speak on. And I know some people will say, hey, yeah, I hiked the Appalachian Trail, and maybe they went and camped out there for like a couple weeks, maybe even a month or, something like that. And that's cool. But my fucking dude, you were there from May to November. Is that correct?
Exactly. 6 months and 2 days it took me to do the whole thing. Yeah.
All right. So, I got some questions, but I really just want to hear, you can be as elaborate or as condensed as you want. Just start me. We already heard briefly the interesting story from day one, but for everyone who hasn't heard, just start us day one. We'll start us pre-day one, day zero. What even influenced you to do this shit? You read The Hatchet in 3rd grade and were like, let's fucking go? Or
no, so my buddy
origin?
Anthony, his dad has a place in Helen, Georgia, which is this cool, German-themed town, an hour north of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And the trail goes pretty close to there, so I guess it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Me and my buddies took a trip up there and did a little day hike on the Appalachian Trail.
Just kind of like a little teaser.
Exactly. And just being on the trail then just kind of made me feel connected to all the people who had done it before. Mm-hmm. Or just even then could kind of sense that energy to it. Like
a rite of passage kind of thing almost.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a pilgrimage, So ever since then, the seed was kind of planted. And then in 2018... having a bad day at work, as you can attest to.
Yeah, John and I met at work.
Yeah.
And he left to go hike this shit, and I definitely salute the fuck.
But, I was having a bad day at work a few years ago, and kind of just figured, hey, I should just quit today and go do this thing.
This is the time.
Yeah. But then I realized, if I wanted to be successful at it, I had to, take the time to plan it.
You did some preparation, some training and shit.
Definitely, yeah. Went on a shakedown hike. It took me a while to collect all the gear. Probably almost $2,000 in gear alone.
So you got a backpack. You got your tent, obviously.
Yeah.
I know you were talking about the little filtration straw thing. You ended up using that?
Squeeze. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a critical part. Yeah, the water filter. Yeah, but it just takes a while to accumulate all that gear. So I planned on hiking in 2020, and I'd put in my 2 weeks notice in early March of 2020. And then
COVID hit.
Yeah, exactly. It was very unfortunate timing.
It was right at the same time.
Bad. So yeah, it was a gut wrenching decision. But yeah, based on what we knew about COVID at the time, it would be adding too much uncertainty to an already uncertain hike.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought it would really detract from the social experience. So I decided to postpone my hike until 2021. Mm-hmm. And I'm really thankful that my employer allowed me to rescind my 2 weeks notice because at that point I was just happy to have a job. But
that helped you save up money to get more gear and what you needed for
exactly. The trip. Yeah. Ultimately, saved a good amount of money and definitely was the right move in hindsight. And so in May of 2021, I flew into Washington, D.C., and then from there took the train to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, which is a beautiful town. I highly recommend people go out there. So Harpers Ferry is a little south of the middle of the trail. So I started in Harpers Ferry. I walked north to Maine, and then I flew back.
So you split it up.
Exactly. It's called
Now,
a flip-flop through hike.
Is there really a start and end, or it's just 2 points and you can go either way, or?
Yeah, I mean, it starts in the official southern terminus is Springer Mountain, Georgia, and then the northern terminus is Mount Katahdin in Maine. So I started in the middle, walked north to Mount Katahdin, and I flew back to the middle and walked south to Springer Mountain, Georgia.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, so from May 20th, 2021 through November 22nd, 2021.
So the first leg, the West Virginia to Maine leg, you started in May. When did you arrive in Maine?
In Katahdin, I finished the northern half on August 31st, I believe. That was when I summited Katahdin.
And that was, did you take breaks?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you were stopping to camp and shit, obviously.
Absolutely. You take, 0-mile days every now and then just to kind of recover and let your body chill out for a minute. Yeah, so it took me 6 months and 2 days to do the whole thing, but over the course of that time, I probably took about 28 or 29 days not hiking between 0 days and between side trips. I took a side trip in Vermont, visit my buddy in Benson, Vermont, visit my buddy in New York, went to DC to visit Jackson, came up and met me there. That was a good time. And yeah, I love those little side trips. That's part of the experience.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure that'll help you kind of keep your sanity too. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, to me, it was not just It's not just hiking the miles. It's seeing the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When like you said, there were other people out there. I'm sure you made a lot of friends along the way, but more or less you're on your own. You're kind of barebacking this shit.
Yeah, and sometimes you just need a little break or just see what else is there. Yeah. So anyway, back to the question about the first day.
Yeah. Start as day one.
Let me go back to that. Circle back. So yeah, the first day, I only wanted to do about 10 miles from Harpers Ferry. So I rolled up to I forget the name of the shelter, but I rolled up to the shelter 2:30 in the afternoon. So it's still relatively early after knocking out the 10 miles, and I had pretty much was ready to be done for the day. So I had my shirt off, and I roll up, and there's this dude. Sprawled out. Yeah, little did I know, my day was not done. There's this dude sprawled out on these foam sleeping pads, and they didn't look like the type of pads that a backpacker would have. He kind of gave that homeless guy impression,
vagrant vibes.
Yeah, exactly. And he started rolling up a J, which was it was cool. Obviously, very 420 friendly. But normally somebody would say hey, I'm gonna roll up, or hey, do you mind? Yeah. And so he starts rolling up a J, and he's like, hey, man, you got nice pecs. I'm like, oh, thanks, I guess.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. And,
it's a little awkward.
Yeah, so, and then he just started rambling, talking to me, not with me.
Talking, at you?
Yeah, talking at me, yeah, I'll just sit some backboard. And, have you ever seen The League?
Yeah.
Raffi?
Yeah.
That's who this dude kind of looked like. He had that, wiry black hair. So yeah, and just the way that he was talking,
a crazy guy.
Yeah, exactly. The way that he was talking to me, made me feel like I was having a bad trip. He was just
And you said this was in West Virginia.
Exactly.
Your
I guess
first starting point.
Technically, it was Maryland, I think. Yeah, because the trail is only in West Virginia for a bit. But yeah, I was right at the beginning, man. And so after a few minutes of talking this dude talking to me, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go set up my tent elsewhere.
I'm gonna go walk away from you.
Yeah, or just normally when you come to a shelter, there's tent sites near. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go set my tent over there. And I was there was a family nearby filling up their water bottles from a spring, and I walked over to the family and I was like, hey, have you talked to that guy? And they were like, no, we haven't yet. And I was like, just a heads up,
you should probably not.
Nuts. Yeah, exactly.
You should probably not do that.
Yeah, so I went, sat down for a minute, and made the decision to keep hiking an extra 5 miles to the next shelter. And I told the family hey, I'm getting out of here. I recommend you kind of do the same, just to avoid this guy. And yeah, come to find out, I had talked to other hikers who called up with me, but somebody ended up calling the cops on that homeless guy. His name was Brian. He was living out of his car, had some sort of intense social disorder. But yeah, somebody called the cops on him a few nights later. But yeah, just bad vibes.
Didn't you say he ended up trying to hurt someone or some shit, or he was just kind of crazy?
Yeah, I think another thru hiker had like stayed up with him one night at another shelter, like trying to talk to him, and then made the decision the following morning to call the cops, just like based on that dude's ramblings.
Like, he should not be just out here.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I'm not trying to like shame people with those types of disorders, but like in that environment, it can be very nerve-wracking to.
Well, I'm sure you're alone in the woods with, I mean,
exactly.
Well, seems like a
God knows what could happen.
Sociopath or psychopath or whatever.
But yeah, so that was my first day on trail, and I'm glad that was the exception and not the rule. You know, like there's definitely trail weird. Like I definitely got trail weird
hippie
myself.
vibes.
Yeah, exactly. But there was just something about it. It's like immediately could
more
tell.
Psycho
like,
weird.
Yeah, like your intuition is a little more tuned in out there.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming overall, most of the people that you met were overall friendly, cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Most like young people, or
I would say there's a good amount of like age, 19 through 25, a good amount in their early 30s, and then I'd say there's like kind of a gap to people in their 50s or so.
Kind of midlife crisis.
60s.
Let's go fucking hike the trail.
Yeah, and it wasn't just through hikers. Some people, hike the trail in sections. So, I met people who had, up north in Vermont or Pennsylvania. I met section hikers who had done everything south of that over the past 10 years,
Just break it up.
Exactly.
Space it out.
Maybe they hike for 2 weeks out of the year, and that's how they're going to hike the whole trail. Yeah.
Because then you can, I guess, elongate the experience.
Exactly. And yeah, not everybody can take several months off work.
Well, and that's so I was researching the trail a little bit before you got here, and one of the things I saw that I thought was pretty funny, it said, so it goes, completing the entire 2190 plus miles, 2,190 plus miles of the Appalachian Trail in one trip is a mammoth undertaking. Each year, thousands of hikers attempt a thru hike, and only about 1 in 4 makes it all the way. A typical thru hiker takes 5 to 7 months.
Yeah. And yeah, some people...
so you started around there.
Exactly. It's like directly west of D.C.
And then did the bottom half.
Exactly, yeah.
That's
flip-flop thru hike. And that's, so I was called, a flip-flopper. People who start in Springer Mountain, Georgia are called Nobos, northbounders.
So a true thru hike is you literally just
do the whole thing.
Georgia to Maine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's it is.
So did you break it up that way because you were obviously going in the summer? You wanted to be up north for summer, or like?
No, so I had planned like a traditional Nobo from Georgia, but my whole thing of doing a flip-flop, it allowed me to start later. I wanted to get vaccinated first. That was the whole deal. So I didn't get vaccinated until April.
Even out there? Like, did it matter out there?
Well, yeah, it was funny. It's like almost like immediately when I hit the trail, just like, the attitude towards COVID changed, or, it's like people, and yeah, just being outside.
I would imagine.
Yeah, which was really refreshing.
Out in the fucking woods.
But yeah, it's like I felt much more comfortable going on that trip having been vaccinated.
True.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So that was day one. You continued. That was in like Maryland, West Virginia area, and you continue north.
The trail in Maryland, I forget how many miles, but it's pretty short. So you immediately go from West Virginia to Maryland, and then you hop in Pennsylvania, and you're in Pennsylvania for a good amount of time.
It looks like it kind of wraps over Philly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I know you said there were campsites along the way and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
How many? But I know you also spent nights kind of just like barenecking in the woods. I mean, what was the ratio between campsites versus?
I'd say probably like actually 90% of the time I was at like a shelter or an established campsite. So if you stop and just like throw up your tent on the side, I'm good, thank you. That's called stealth camping usually. Okay. So yeah, most of the time I didn't really stealth camp. I tried to stick to already established areas.
And that's just like an area where they have little spots, campsite A, B, whatever. You still have to have your own tent and shit, obviously.
Yeah, and part of that has to do with, like, if you come to a shelter, most of the time there's a water source nearby, there's a privy nearby.
True.
And there's already established tent sites. And that way, like, going to a shelter, like, there's probably going to be other people there. So it's like a safety thing to, like, go into the shelter and just, like, being able to socialize at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's very true.
But there are plenty of people who would stealth camp a lot, just, to be kind of by themselves, or maybe like be in a good spot to see a good view the next morning or something like that,
Yeah, that's a good point. And you were also saying at a lot of these spots, they would be near, towns and stuff, so you could kind of go get supplies. Because when you're first talking about doing this, my brain's thinking you have 9 months of shit in your pack. I was just like, dude, what the?
That'd be
But once you
insane.
said that kind of makes more sense. So is that a lot of what the campsites were too? You could just break off and like
So the campsites,
replenish?
it depends. Like some campsites were close to civilization. But no, I mean, most of the time I would resupply like once or twice a week. Generally, like maybe like 3 to 5 days. I'd stop at a town or stop at a gas station and get the necessaries. But yeah, I mean, the Appalachian Trail, it's a relatively narrow, green belt. Like you're crossing a lot of roads, you're going through a lot of towns.
Okay.
So it's easy, logistically to get the supplies you need and, chill at hostels, do whatever.
And I'm assuming you're getting like
Junk
trail
food,
mix
yeah.
and just like bullshit or
Yeah, really, yeah.
Slim Jims.
Yeah, a lot of beef jerky, but really it's like, or I would look at calories per ounce, like so that's like weight. You don't want to have too much weight in your pack.
They have those like fucking gel packs, like the energy gels.
Yeah,
and shit.
you could do those. Really, one of the most like calorie dense items I saw on trail was like those frosted honey buns, like you get at Dollar General.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned
Those are like 750 calories for like this 4-ounce bun, so yeah, those are awesome.
Zero nutritional value.
Yeah, but that's just it. It's like your body just like needs so many carbs out there.
Yeah.
Some
you're just
protein, some
constantly
fats,
moving.
a lot of carbs. Yeah.
And so, what was like a typical day? I'm sure it changed day to day, but roughly, you wake up probably butt crack of dawn.
Yeah, it kind of depend, but yeah, hopefully. It just kind of varied, but I would try to kind of be hiking by like 8:30, and then I probably wouldn't stop hiking until maybe a couple hours before dark, and it kind of varied because like the true season through hikers pretty much hike from like sun up till close to sundown.
Yeah,
that way they get in their full miles. But yeah, some days like you sleep in later. It just kind of depended.
I don't feel like it today.
Yeah, it's like you can only sit in like your hot tent for so long in the morning.
Well, did you have any of those days where you maybe were just on a beautiful spot of the trail and you're like, I don't even want to hike today. I'm just going to enjoy.
Yeah, kind of some days.
Nature.
Yeah, I take it's called like a near zero day if I just want to chill.
Nero.
Yeah, one town in Virginia, I had just left a hostel, so I decided to just do 4 miles to the next shelter. And I had Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man, the Sea, and I just like read that over the afternoon, and it was just like a nice little shelter spot. So
Nice.
Yeah, a big phrase on trails: hike your own hike.
Yeah,
do it
pace.
the way you want to do it. Yeah.
Well, me personally, I would imagine that would be the best part of it. Is kind of just like having that peace of mind. You're in fucking nature. I mean, like
Absolutely,
you said, you're hiking this trail that people have hiked for centuries or whatever.
It's very
Was there like a foundation date for the trail that they? Like Appalachian Trail founded in 1805 or some shit.
No, it was in the early 1900s or I forget. Well, anyway, the first person to do a true like through hike from end to end, his name is Earl Shaffer. He was a World War II veteran. I think he hiked it in the early 1950s. He has a book called Walking with Spring. Highly recommend that.
Okay.
But yeah, he was like the first.
He's like
true
the pioneer.
recognized through hiker. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head when the trail was completed.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah,
some dude just hiked it and he was like, "This is a good trail. We should make this like a."
Yeah, well, it was like it took a lot of people to put together. I know Benton Mackay. I forget there's another famous dude's name. But yeah, there's.
Do you Googles?
Yeah, the history of the trail is really incredible. And speaking of Earl Shaffer, there's this hostel in I think it's Andover, Maine, called the Cabin. And the owner of that, her name is Honey. She's like in her 80s. But anyway, she knew Earl Shaffer. Like she like interacted with this kind of like larger than life figure in the history of the trail. So yeah, that was cool. Just like coming into contact with all these different types of characters.
You were talking to her?
Yeah, and she had some interesting stories of Earl Shaffer and other like trail characters. The oldest person to ever do a through hike, his name is Nimble Will Nomad. That's his trail name.
Say that name again.
Nimble Will Nomad.
That's his real name?
That's his trail name.
Oh, I was going to say.
I forget his real name.
I was going to say, bro.
Yeah, like everybody gets trail names out there.
Yeah, so what was yours again?
Pokerface. Yeah.
Because you guys were playing poker one night.
It's ironic I have no Pokerface.
Yeah.
But yeah, I met Nimble Will Nomad in Maine. He's the oldest person to through hike the trail at like I think he's like 84, 85.
You met him.
Yeah, but he's like walked across the country. He's like, yeah, this
Forrest
sort of,
Gump.
yeah, exactly. Like, so just like crossing paths with those types of people was like really, really incredible. You know, like once in a lifetime experience.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's why I definitely respect, because I think you said when you were leaving the job was like, if I don't do this shit now, I may never do it. And it's very true. You're only young once. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, it's never too late. Yeah, I met people through hikers out there in their 50s, 60s, early 70s.
Which is dope. I mean, you've done it once. Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Would
absolutely.
you try to do like
the
true through hike?
Yeah, well, I did a true through hike. So
Okay.
I could have done, I would potentially do a northbound or a southbound, starting in Maine, going south, or another flip-flop. Personally, I do recommend the flip-flop route for, prospective through hikers out there. It worked.
You heard it here first.
It worked out well. But yeah, there's no wrong way to do it. And I could see myself doing it again in the future for sure.
Word.
Yeah. Or another big trail like the Arizona Trail, Florida Trail, PCT, CDT. One of these days.
Well, I mean, you went for the gusto for the first one.
Yeah.
It's not like you just picked some little measly trail.
Yeah. And so like the Triple Crown is the Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and the Pacific Crest Trail. And both the PCT and the CDT are longer than the Appalachian Trail, but a lot of like Triple Crowners I met out there, who, the AT was their final crowning achievement of that, said, the AT was actually the most physically demanding trail because it has the most elevation change. Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming once you get up there, it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just constant. Yeah, I forget. It's like over 500,000 feet of elevation change.
Overall.
Yeah, and that number could be off, but yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I remember a lot of the photos you were posting, you were at like summits.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is pretty fire.
Yeah. Big difference from the flatland of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember I went to Denver a couple years ago. Coming from Florida, we went to A Basin, Arapahoe Basin. I think it's 14,000 feet, bro.
Oh man,
bro, we were up there. Like I was this close to passing out.
Just like panting.
Yeah, dude. I couldn't catch my breath, and the ironic part is that you have to go down to get more breath. So I was just like, we have to go. I'm like.
Yeah.
Trying to carve down this mountain.
Nah, yeah, I can't. I've never been, out west like that. But yeah, I want to get out there one of those days.
It's
experience
pretty gnarly.
that.
I mean, just coming from Florida, any elevation can be gnarly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was one of the most difficult parts. So, like, I had done, like plenty of day hikes, training with my fully weighted pack down here, but nothing really prepares you just for the constant elevation change, like on your body. Like my knees in the very beginning, I thought I had torn my meniscus in both knees just because the pain was so excruciating.
They're just not used to it.
Yeah, I had to take like 6 0 days at the end of my first week on trail just to kind of recover and let my body adjust. And so I thought my hike was over before it even began, but luckily it just
body recovered,
got stronger.
So,
just
now your knees are like, let's go.
Yeah, powerful.
Fucking bionic, man. You heard of David Goggins?
Yeah.
Just hearing you talk about this shit reminds me of him.
He's like the ultra marathoner.
Yeah.
His book is like Can't Hurt Me.
Can't Hurt Me, yep. I have it in there. It's
a
really good book.
I met a few people on trail who would, sing his praises.
Yeah. No, I mean, you would, I think, just hearing you talk, I think you would like him a lot.
Right, yeah. I gotta delve into him. I met this one ultra marathoner in, it was Vermont. And yeah, it's like an ultra marathoner who'd run like 100 miles, in these races in the desert or something. And yeah, that's just nuts. Like, I can't even imagine. You have to be a masochist, really love the pain for that.
I mean, shit, bro.
Yeah.
But so outside of like the physical side, I'm sure you saw a lot of dope wildlife and like vegetation and stuff like that coming from the environmental aspect.
And I wish I had kind of taken the time beforehand to maybe, like get a deeper appreciation of the ecosystems of the trail, or just being able to like name
just from Georgia to Maine, I'm sure the difference in shit
absolutely
was noticeable,
Yeah, definitely. I didn't
anything that sticks out or
as far as one of my favorite animal sightings was moose in it was in New Hampshire.
Okay.
There's this place called Pinkham Notch, which is at the northern side of the White Mountains. So yeah, from Pinkham Notch, it was like just a little ways out of the notch, and I saw this cow, this mother moose with 2 calves, and just like being able to observe them quietly, for a few minutes was just it was unreal. Yeah, it was dope. I didn't see a single black bear like on trail, other than the two that were in Bear Mountain State Park Zoo, which the trail goes through. But yeah, I didn't see any like wild black bears.
Trail goes through a zoo?
Yeah, in New York.
That's
Bear Mountain State Park, New York. But yeah, I didn't see a single bear on trail, which is wild because they're like, I would get to a shelter and people would be like, "Hey, did you see that bear back there?" I'm like, "No, man, I didn't see a bear."
Nope.
Yeah, which is weird. Apparently, my mom said she was praying that the bears would stay away from me on trail.
That's
so
why they said
I have my mom to blame for the lack of bear sightings. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure bears, probably mountain lions once you get a little higher.
Yeah, I didn't see any mountain lions. They were thought to be, extirpated from the whole Appalachian Trail.
Really?
But I guess, in recent years, people have been, hearing them or, seeing them.
Or what about, I don't know if they'd have wolves, but definitely like coyotes and
coyotes. I saw a couple coyotes. Beavers. Yeah.
Nice.
Beavers are cool too.
That's pretty. Where was that? Was up north?
That was in Maine, I think. Yeah, if I remember correctly. But yeah, just like seeing a beaver dam, man. They can build stuff.
I feel like beavers are way bigger than we think they are too.
Yeah, I mean they're like that.
They're
big.
Solid little fuckers.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have the gnarly ass yellow teeth.
Yeah, and we're just like seeing these trees like
all perfectly cut,
all messed up. Yeah. Sometimes, when beavers build a dam, they make this bog behind it, so it's essentially like flooding that area. And sometimes you'd have to drink the water that would come out of that bog, push it through your filter. And even after you'd filtered it, it would still be like a little brown. And
explain the filter straw to the people who don't know what the fuck
So the
that
filter,
is.
It's called a storage squeeze, and it's awesome. You can pretty much, you can drink nasty ass beaver bog water. You could go to a
beaver
puddle.
bog water.
Yeah, beaver bog water. I like it. But yeah,
I'd probably be the name of this episode. Beaver bog water.
But yeah, like you have like a bag of the dirty water, or you can put the dirty water in like a plastic water bottle. You screw the Sawyer squeeze on top, and then you just squeeze the water through the filter, and it comes out clean on the other side. So it makes the water bacteriologically safe to drink.
So it's essentially, it's just a water filter. I thought it was. Why am I thinking there is a straw that you can like put in and just drink?
Yeah,
that's what I was picturing.
That's called a life straw.
Okay.
But the thing with that is then it's like if you want to cook with the water, like what are you gonna suck it up and like spit it into your pot? So most people use the Sawyer squeeze or like some variation of that.
You just filter it into a container that you then drink out of.
Yeah, and there's a few like big name filters. Like it's not just the Sawyer squeeze. But and then some sites
product placement.
They're actually based in Florida, I think.
Yeah.
Go Florida. But some sites like you didn't really have to filter your water just because. Whereas like I had a kind of a specific like calculus I would use to determine if I could drink or if I felt safe enough drinking the water.
Coming from Florida, a lot of the water up there is probably straighter than here, right?
Yeah, like if I could see it like coming out of the ground, if the privy wasn't too close. And because sometimes like there would just be a pipe, coming out of the ground where the spring was, and this gorgeous clear cold
nice
water.
Crispy water.
Yeah, some of the best water I've ever had. Yeah, it was on trail.
That's pretty fire.
Luckily I never got sick from the water. Never got giardia or anything.
No diarrhea.
Yeah, no. Oh, I mean, well, there's diarrhea for other reasons, but not because of the water.
So I need a best story and a worst story.
Oh man,
I'll let you pick.
That's hard.
The topic.
It's a million little great moments. One of my favorite moments on trail was summiting Katahdin. But I summited it with my buddy. His trail name was Late Start. He had actually picture the caddy from Happy Gilmore.
Nice.
With the long beard, the long hair, except his hair was longer, his beard was longer. He's a bigger guy. He was a former college football player at Penn, and he had also played rugby. But like,
shouts to Late Start.
Yeah, Late Start's my boy. But yeah, he was also like had some knee surgeries and whatnot. He was 40. He also had some like knee surgeries, so he wasn't like in the best
physical shape.
Yeah, or like he had used his body hard as a younger guy.
Got you.
But anyway, he started his through hike in 2020 and had kind of like started hiking during the winter and kind of just like done parts of the trail just like piecemeal, and then he had taken some time off trail. So anyway, he returned to the trail in 2021 in Maine to finish up that last remaining portion. Mm-hmm. So he had actually been like hiking it for close to a year when I met him.
Okay.
But I actually met him.
Because he was hiking his own hike.
Exactly. He was hiking his own hike. Now you're getting it, yeah. I actually met him at the Cabin Hostel in Andover, Maine.
All right.
And yeah, it's cool. Like he was hiking with a chock full of nuts can full of his dad's ashes, like Big Lebowski style. Because he had hiked some of the trail with his dad as a kid. They had taken vacations up there as a family. So yeah, that was his homage, to his father who was carrying
Like sprinkling along the way, or just taking it with him?
Well, oh yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
I think he did sprinkle it at a few other places. But anyway, so we went up Katahdin together, and it was a really special moment because he spread the rest of his dad's ashes on Katahdin
At the summit.
Yeah, so I took a little video of him. So yeah, that was a special moment to share with somebody, and that was like it's already an emotional place up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that was extra emotional.
That's like lifelong bond.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was a really special moment I had on trail. But really, yeah, it's 1,000 special moments. Like you can find that special moment like every day.
That's unique though. That's some shit you've seen a movie.
Yeah, exactly. As far as a worst story goes, there's.
I know you had some bad ones. You were talking about your legs chafing and shit.
Oh yeah, I would like sometimes. Actually, I wore these shorts for part of the trail.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like sometimes I'd wear them with underwear, sometimes I'd wear them without underwear. But eventually, like if you wear them for a few days and you're just sweating in them, the salt would just get like stuck to them and would just tear up your legs so bad, like. No matter how much anti-chafe you use, so, sometimes my legs would be like bleeding from the amount of chafing there was. One of my worst days on trail. It's like mentally the darkest time for me was like in the beginning when I thought my knees were messed up
After like the first week.
Yeah, I thought I would have to like hop off trail, so that was like mentally the toughest. But yeah, then there's this one day. I want to say it was when I was going south through Virginia. Again, it was just like a really bad chafing day. And then it was maybe like a 22-mile day or a 21-mile day. Which was like kind of like towards the like once I really got my trail legs, once I was really going, that was kind of like a good average or a good like target for me. But yeah, it was a bad chafing day. I was just wanting to get to the campsite, and then it was getting dark, which is fine. You have your headlamp getting dark. But then all of a sudden the trail got a lot rockier, and when you're walking on the rocks, they might be anywhere from like football size to boulder size, and it's just so annoying, like constantly having to worry about like twisting an ankle or just having to change up your stride gets annoying.
It's not a casual walk in the park.
Yeah, I had missed like a spring. There was no spring at this tent site that I was going for, so I had to fill it. I was supposed to fill it beforehand, but
you missed it.
I missed it, so then I just kept on going, and I was thirsty as hell. And then, so I got to the tent site. I had to keep going like an extra like third of a mile to find like the next spring. And then, so I found that spring. The spring was off like a couple 100-yard like side trail, or a blue blaze trail is often a side trail. So I found the spring, filled up my water, and then I like got like turned around, like the side trail wasn't marked very well, so I kind of got like lost for a second. And luckily there's this app, it's called Far Out now, but it used to be called Gut Hook, where you turn on your location, it'll show you where you are like on the AT itself. Okay. So I had to pull out the map for a second and found my way back to the main trail. And then so I had my water, I'm fully loaded. I get back to the tent site, and obviously there's like already people set up there, and it was a shelter too. But since it was like already past dark, like everybody had like gone to bed and whatnot, and I didn't want to be like shining my light around. The loud one, because that's a big like pet peeve. Like, people on trail, you don't want to be shining your light in everybody's shit. Yeah. So it's like I was trying to find a spot, but like there were no like flat, unrocky spots. So I had to finally settle on the spot with like a big slant, and that was like, I just barely made it work. Yeah. And then
rolled to one side of your tent.
Yeah, like and then also normally, the best leave no trace practice when there's not like a bear box, place to like store your food at night. You're supposed to hang a bear bag in a tree. So I was throwing my bear bag up into the tree to hang it, and it almost got stuck. I spent like 5 minutes trying to get it unstuck. So it's just like. And like none of those little things in itself is like that bad, but it's just like at the end of the day,
you're just fucking tired.
You're just like done with it. And there were countless days like that where you're just like feeling done, like And but even then, it's like I didn't think about like quitting or anything. It was just one of those days. It's like you just kind of keep moving. Yeah.
Well, I mean, how much contact did you have with like your family and?
I would text my mom, or like almost every day, like telling her where I was finishing.
You had reception on the trail?
Yeah, and
pretty much the whole time.
A surprising amount of reception. Like every day, I had reception for like a portion of the day. It wasn't like 24/7, but I could count on like, oh, I can get up to this peak, and I know I'll have reception there pretty much. Or like some campsites would have reception, so I would like tell her where I was finishing each day, pretty much, or like every other day. But yeah, I mean, most of the time I was like, kind of, off my phone, or had music or podcast downloaded.
And yeah, I think that's the way to do
Yeah,
it. Too,
it was so nice just like not having to constantly respond to somebody or go on Instagram or go on Snapchat. Yeah, it was a lovely social media timeout.
Unplug.
Yeah, and I tried not to like. I would take be views and whatnot, but I wouldn't spend too much time taking pictures and tried to be as present as possible.
Well, yeah, what I realized just getting older, and I mean smoking too, is like I need a couple photos so I can remember it later, but I also want to be off my phone and just like enjoy it while I'm here.
Yes, yeah.
But I almost need both.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like you have to. Yeah, it's about balance. It's about temperance. You gotta be temperate with your photos. Yeah. But yeah, I see a lot of people my age just it's like constantly taking.
They're just filming the whole trail.
Yeah. Well, I did. I expected
live the whole trail.
I expected to see more people with like selfie sticks, like vlogging it, but I didn't see any of those people, which was
good.
Like really refreshing. I saw like a couple of those people, but not many.
Well, those are probably the people who go out there, they hike it for a couple days, they get their selfies off, then they leave.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Not who are hiking the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, and to me it was like I was there to hike. I had my goal in mind. I didn't want like that distraction or I was doing it for me. I wasn't doing it so I could post it.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
No,
yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I could see that. I think most people could see that.
Yeah.
And you made it. I know you came back in November. You made it back like just in time for Thanksgiving.
Exactly. I got back. I flew back into Orlando. Yeah, it was the 23rd. Stayed with Jackson a night, and then my parents came up and picked me up. Yeah, it was the day before Thanksgiving, I guess. Yeah, I flew Spirit back to Orlando, and they lost my bag. I checked my hiking pack, like wrapped up in a bigger duffel bag and locked up and whatnot, and they actually lost that. But I mean, it's a good thing it happened on the return and not going out there. Yeah, otherwise it would have been a pain in the ass. But it was just an extra few days that my stinky hiking stuff was just fermenting in that bag. Yeah,
the mail people were like, just send this to this motherfucker.
Get it away from me.
Get this out of here. Now, were you doing any like, what's the right word? I mean, I guess hunting, but like, were you doing any like raw food type shit? Like,
so
not raw meat, but like you killed a fucking squirrel and then you ate that shit.
No. I get that question.
Foraging?
Sometimes. Yeah. So a lot of people would forage mushrooms. Like,
okay.
I was
you got to know what the fuck you're looking for.
Exactly. Another, it's like common ones out there is called like chicken of the woods. I think sometimes people get like morels. Lion's mane, I know, is another big one.
I've heard of 2 of those.
Yeah, so like some people, would cook those up, throw them in with their ramen or whatever. And I just like didn't have the desire to do that, or
if you were with
the identification.
If you were with someone who had them and like
I think I tried them, maybe
try a couple. Or?
Yeah, I think I maybe tried some lion's mane one time. But yeah, so I kind of wish I'd had better mushroom identification.
Well, mycology is intense, dude.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Is really intense.
I met a couple people who would carry like small fishing poles or like collapsible.
Go fishing.
Yeah. So, but that's like not really like a typical thing. That's pretty rare.
Well, I would imagine that wouldn't be super convenient with all the supplies you need and stuff like that.
And then if you're trying to like make miles during the day, like you don't really have too much free time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Yeah. My first day on trail, actually, when I got to my final shelter, the non-homeless person shelter. It was already like 7 o'clock at night, and this dude rolled up with like a little kiddie fishing pole. Mm-hmm. His trail name was Gunga Din, and he told me
Gunga Din,
and he was this tall kid from Michigan, but he told me he was attempting a 70-mile day. He wanted to do 70-mile days or 70 miles in 24 hours, and since noon that day, he had already done 25 miles. So yeah. Even just first day, it's like meeting somebody like that. It's like, wow, this guy's on a whole nother level. Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm just finishing up my 15-mile day. Yeah.
I mean, I do like 8 miles on my bike, and I'm like, oh man, I'm winded.
Yeah.
And that's on a bike. That's not fucking hiking.
Right, yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's crazy, what your body can do. Like once, like we're made to walk, like as a species. That's what we do best, walking and running.
Bipeds.
And, yeah, so like once your body is conditioned to do those miles, it's really incredible what you can do.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why you would like that David Goggins.
Yeah,
book.
you'd be a great hiker. You got a great hiking.
I got a good hiking body. I like hiking. I'm not a big fan of running.
Yeah,
Like, I played a lot of sports, so I'm just kind of like sick of running. I
Yeah.
ride my bike a lot, but like a good hike, like I went to California for the redwoods and shit, just hiking through that, like that was dope as fuck.
Yeah.
But I've never done anything even close to that gnarly.
Yeah. When we'll have to hike a trail in Florida sometime, or
Yeah.
bit of the old Florida
The
trail.
baby trails here. I'm definitely down. Some kayaking too. I'm definitely a big fan of kayaking.
Absolutely.
But what about did you meet any like memorable people along the way?
Yeah, plenty. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of like the most beautiful parts of the trail is all the people you meet, because like their passion is similar to yours. Like they're
there
out,
for the same reasons.
Yeah, they're out there sending it. So it's like the ice is already broken, and so that was really nice. Yeah, it's like you interact with these people, and it's like you can immediately kind of have like a whole nother level of conversation with them just because you've put aside all the other BS that that's typically associated with just like meeting somebody new. So yeah, like a lot of memorable people. It's hard to go through them all. Like going northbound from Harper's Ferry, I didn't really have my trail legs as much as other thru hikers did around me. So oftentimes I'd be hiking around this like bubble of people for like a few days, and then they'd slowly push past me, and then somebody else would catch up to me. So it's like I was kind of constantly like sifting in and out of different groups of people. Which is awesome. Yeah, like it's
So there were a lot of like pods of people kind of doing it together.
sort of, yeah. So tramily, trail family. That's a term on trail. That's just like people,
How many little combo words?
there's a whole dictionary. Yeah.
Tramly.
Yeah, the tramily.
That a Nero, my tramly today.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Yeah.
the fucking Beaver bog water.
One of my favorite words from trail terms was yogi. Like, yeah, I might like yogi a ride or a yogi to beer off that dude. It's kind of like
borrowing or like
no, it's kind of like
not stealing, but
slide your way in there
finesse.
and like make them think it was their idea to
why is
give
it
it
a
to
yogi?
you. Because like Yogi Bear, like
He's
go
slick
swipe
like
some
that?
picnic baskets. Yeah.
Word. That's
So yeah,
funny.
Yogi, I like that.
That's Yogi that beer.
Yeah. So
Off
anyway,
this fucking
the
idiot.
tramily, that's it's just kind of people you naturally like kind of match pace with, or like you end up finishing at the same spots. So you build that connection.
Trail fam.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden like you realize like, hey, you're shooting for the same destinations and splitting hostels or splitting hotel rooms.
Well, and that does make sense because then it's sort of like a camaraderie. You're almost have
Exactly.
a mini community.
Misery loves company.
Well, that
Yeah.
too. Exactly. You're not suffering through this shit alone.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're just as sore as I am. Oh,
Yeah.
word. You guys saw that shit back there? That
Exactly.
bear?
You got somebody to gripe to, you got
Yeah.
those
That's a
blood,
good
sweat,
point.
and tears. Really, it's a bonding experience for people, and yeah, I love I still keep in touch with people from my tramily.
That's
and
dope.
Yeah, I
Tramily.
talk to trail people, a lot, and yeah, I love that. Just being able to keep in touch with those people.
Well, and yeah, that makes sense because for as much solitude as you get and you want to just be alone, there are times where you probably like are dying to talk to somebody.
Yeah. So yeah, that was nice because like when you did, there were times when I would kind of like push on ahead from the tramily, like kind of be by myself for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So it was good because you could have it like both ways depending on
Balance
your
it out.
mood. Yeah. It was wonderful.
That's crazy. And now, well, before we get to the transition back into society, like what's something that like, or did you find what you were looking for? Like, what's something you learned about yourself?
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Found what I was looking for and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff
Just about
I-
life, about yourself, or
both. Yeah, I think it's like the stuff that I really value more. It's like I had no idea, going into it. That's just it. It's like the lessons I've learned were things I didn't even have a conception
weren't
of.
even on your radar.
Yeah, they weren't on my radar.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, definitely. Like it's made me more confident. The word like can't, I feel like isn't
It's gone
as
now.
much. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, kill the word can't. That's the real
Fucking
C word.
decimated that shit.
Yeah, and I think like accepting uncertainty yes, like I still am like a worrier, like a planner, but the trail has definitely made me more open to just like not necessarily going with the flow.
Much more capable than you thought.
Exactly.
Kind of
So
thing.
not worrying so much about the minor details or just being able to, do it. Yeah. Accepting uncertainty. I think like it takes practice, so the trail was a very good practice in that. Yeah. And yeah, one of my like favorite moments being on trail was like, you just kind of, oftentimes it would happen for me kind of like later in the day when I've like hit my stride, got the endorphins going, but I would just find myself being like incredibly present. And then that would lead to a feeling of just like immense gratitude for being there. And I've never felt that way before. Like it was a very unique trail feeling for me. So just like finding that moment of pure gratitude was just like awesome for me. And I hope I can help other people experience that moment of gratitude too.
I mean, they say there is something energetic, therapeutic just about being in nature. So I'm sure where you were specifically was that like intensified.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the deep ass fucking woods.
Yeah. I forget what my friend was telling me about that book. Some sort of like nature, or even just like chemicals in nature that make us feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I forget what it was called.
Yeah, exactly. I don't quite remember, but
yeah,
that John Muir.
Yeah, in the
vein of
philosophical
things.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's it's like I was saying, it's like as humans we're made to walk, and I think like going long distances like that is really like the ultimate fulfillment of our like evolutionary destiny, like is getting back to our roots. And
well, yeah, because as humans we're not meant to be in a concrete jungle all the time like we are in cubicles and shit like that.
We were originally nomadic hunter-gatherers,
right?
So that was getting back to my roots was just wonderful.
No, yeah, that's super fire. So then you finished and then coming back to society, like was that weird after being out there for almost a year?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, it's even now, it's like,
even till today.
Yeah, you kind of go through phases and stages of
these
like,
microphones being in your face.
I
don't like it.
It actually feels good right now. But yeah, just
this
like
is a safe space. You know what I mean?
I was definitely like ready to be done. Towards the end of trail, I was like looking forward. Yeah, the one thing I missed most on trail was my dog Lucy. So I was so happy to be reunited with her.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it is different. Like the movie Castaway.
Yeah.
When he like gets off the island and he's going back and like
he's just different.
Sees the crabs like on the table.
Oh yeah.
There was like kind of that feeling of that, like all the like little conveniences we have.
Yep.
And I remember like that first time getting back and like having that good like my own shower and like sleeping in a bed by myself in a room that didn't have
air conditioning,
3 other smelly hikers in it. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, it was the best. But yeah, it's also just like some days like I miss trail. And even like when I go through my trail photos, like even just last night I was going through some trail photos. I'm like, shit, like I really miss that.
Yeah.
I get like emotional, But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back onto a trail. In the not too distant future. But yeah, as far as like I said, it made me more confident. I think it made me more willing to approach people, I guess, in in public situations. But yeah,
after talking to the psycho on day one, you're like, shit, I'm not gonna handle anything.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, overall, it's all good. It's some people talk about like post trail depression.
Yeah.
So some people like go through that. I'm thankful that like I guess I wouldn't really call it depression, but definitely sometimes feel a little bluesy, feel a little homesick, I guess, even though you are home. But now it's like, yeah,
you're not around that raw, earthy energy anymore. At least not I'm sure you still go on like mini hikes and stuff like that. But
right. I think part of it is like missing that community. Like the hiking community is very unique.
Just different.
Yeah, it's like I've never been a part of something that fulfilling before, just with such great people. So it's like missing that sense of community.
Well, I would imagine those type of people are real old school type of people. Nowadays you're talking to someone, they're like, yeah. You know what I mean? I can imagine trail people are like, yes, like let's fucking have a real conversation.
There's a certain sense of like genuineness.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
The trail
That's
people.
kind of what I mean.
Yeah, and I feel like like in modern day society, there's a lot of like talkers and doers, or
empty listening type
shit. It's like you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? And on trail, everybody was walking the walk. Like literally. Everybody was fucking sending it. And that's what, led to a lot of
I love that
mutual
sending
respect.
it is like a common phrase now.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, especially on trail. Yeah, it's a
Well,
good description.
To my knowledge, that came from like skating. Like,
oh, really?
Whenever you like about to go do a crazy trick, like, yo, send it.
That sounds like a skating word. Yeah,
I hear them saying it and a lot of other shit now, and I love it.
Commandeered it.
Fucking sending it.
Yeah,
Rook's
absolutely.
all about sending it.
What's up, Rook?
But I think that was all the questions I had, man. Do you have anything else you wanted to fucking...
Nah, that's about it. Yeah, it's like I could talk for hours about it and still only brush the surface.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, let's talk for 2190 miles worth
Pretty
of...
much. Yeah, no, I hope, one day I might have to write a book. Like, it was nice just kind of...
That would be sick.
Before I came, I
Did you keep a journal or anything like that?
I did, yeah. I kept a journal and, like, have an entry for every single day. Sometimes it's just, like, a couple sentences, but at least I know, like, where I stopped each day. And so in preparation for this, I did read back through those journals and, like, typed up some themes and like special moments and whatnot. Yeah. Actually, let me look at my notes, see if there's anything I want to touch on. That might be good, like preparation for a book down the road.
That would be super dope.
But yeah, I want to thank you so much just for having me on and like giving me this like outlet.
Of course, man. I mean, like I said, this is something that even if the people listening aren't super interested in, I am.
Right. Yeah.
But it's also something I'll probably never do.
Right.
Just because my ambition's not quite there.
It might be there in a decade.
It could be. You never know.
But yeah, then that's this also.
I do love some good nature shit. I'm gonna do a little day hike, maybe a couple days, and then send it back home.
Even that's like enough to make you appreciate your bed again, make you appreciate that shower. Yeah,
absolutely.
No, it's lovely, and it's nice being in this environment. One thing on trail, it's like I had some good conversations on trail, but then other people were just like energy vampires, like. Just like suck the life right out of you just talking to them. It's like some people, and maybe it's technology, or maybe it's just always there, are just like bad conversationalists. Like
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, so it's refreshing having a conversation like this.
I mean, I definitely that's not why I started the podcast, but that is one thing I do enjoy about this podcast. I'm a type of person where I would prefer to have a one-on-one conversation because you can have more of a real conversation when it's a group of people. You get interjecting, it doesn't stay on topic, you know what I mean?
Definitely,
some people hoard the energy, like you said.
Exactly. Or it's like, talking at somebody and they're not listening or being talked at,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So how many entries did you have total?
I
mean, you were out there
so I had an entry for every day. I mean,
it's like,
say over
100 days,
yeah,
for sure.
like
150, 200?
Yeah, something like that, maybe like 180, something.
That's insane.
Something
That's half a year.
Yeah. Oh man, one of my two guys I hiked with a good amount. Their names were Goose and Oatmeal.
Goose and Oatmeal.
Yeah, they were a little younger. They were like recent college or like master's grads, but they were cool. Anyway, one of them, there was this shelter in New York that was like kind of near like a ridge, but it was like this real nice meadow. It had been closed, I think, for part of the season due to like intense bear activity.
Damn.
So there was no, it was like an old shelter built in like the 30s, I think, or maybe the 40s. But anyway, it was very rocky or like big flat rocks there. I forget the name of the shelter, but there was no privy. So if you wanted to go have your morning dump or something, you had to go walk a ways off, and you're supposed to dig a cat hole 6 to 8 inches deep, and then poop in the hole,
take your shit,
bury it. But anyway, my buddy Oatmeal, he woke up early in the morning having to go, and he didn't feel like
digging up fucking
walking 100 yards downhill or whatever. Mm-hmm. So instead, he took a shit right on one of the rocks, and he wrapped his hands in toilet paper and threw the shit, just chucked it. So that's giving the phrase leave no trace a new meaning. Just toss it.
Well, I mean, how good of a toss did you give
Yeah,
it?
I'm not sure. I was worried about like the consistency of the poop too.
Well, that too.
You never know.
You get a little runner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that was Oatmeal.
Yeah, his name is Oatmeal. Sorry, Oatmeal.
Did it have anything to do with the shit?
No, his name is Oatmeal. He just ate a lot of oatmeal. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Oatmeal.
But yeah, I had some good laughs with those guys. They were good.
That's funny.
One of my common phrase on trail is also like hiker trash. Like that's like a true through hiker is like hiker trash. Like you just don't really give a shit anymore about your appearance. You know, you're all smelly.
Yeah.
So it's like hiker trash. Like it's a term of endearment or like a prideful term. But anyway,
you're a savage.
Yeah, one of my most like hiker trash moments was I was with my tramily at the Fontana Dam resort like restaurant, and there were like 9 of us, so it took us like half an hour just like get a table and whatnot, and it was a packed place, and we sit down, and like my buddy Flop looks around, and he's like, nobody has their entrees. Like there are probably like 60 people in that place. There's several tables, and like nobody had their entrees. They all just like had some like appetizers and whatnot. So they were like, shit, like we're gonna be here for a while. And so yeah, it was finally like probably an hour and 40 before we actually got our entrees. And of course, like we'd been drinking and whatnot, so we're all feeling pretty good. And the food was pretty good. Like it was decent. The portions could have been a little bit bigger, but who knows? We also had huge appetites. So yeah, it's like we eat all our
I could
stuff.
also eat a dog.
Yeah. By the time like we finished eating, the place is kind of starting to clear out. There's only maybe like 1 or 2 tables left, but like there was still food, like leftover food that the tables next to us hadn't finished eating. So I like looked over and I saw like, hey, like there's still some like chicken wings over there. So my buddy goes over and like grabs the chicken wings off of a table, and then my other buddy like goes and grabs some like leftover nachos and stuff. So there's like grabbing leftover food from these random people's tables. Yeah, so that was like a true like hiker trash.
Trail
moment.
trash.
Yeah, you gotta get those calories. Yeah.
Fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going to toss it anyway, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I feel like
we're doing them a favor.
If there's one place where that's acceptable, it's probably when you're hiking the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, they gave us some weird looks, but it was
I've done
good.
that at bars downtown. Fuck out of here.
If it looks good, eat it.
Fuck out of here. That's some funny shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, do you have anything else?
Nah, I think that's it. Yeah, just thanks again for having me, man.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you coming through,
Glad
man.
to see the kPodcast keep on growing.
Hey, it's episode 72.
Yeah, that's big. Are you going to do anything big for episode 100?
I'm sure we'll probably just, I don't know, do something.
Big celebration.
I'm working on getting more, because right now I just have 2 functioning mics, so I can just have one guest.
Right.
So I feel like for episode 100, it's got to be a couple people in here. Like,
oh, yeah.
A little mini party or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
But I don't know. I got a couple episodes figured out.
Awesome. Good stuff.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, absolutely, kPod.
We got a little motto here. Stay safe, stay smart. Damn, I fucked that up. Stay smart, stay safe, stay sexy, and stay motherfucking tuned.
Oh, yeah.
Episode. Oh, yeah. Episode 72 of the kPodcast, man. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Peace. The kPodcast. That's a wrap. Sayonara. Adios. Fuck out. Thanks for listening. Hasta luego. Thanks for tuning in. Fiends. You don't have to go home. You just can't stay here, alright? Peace.